Enemies among us. There's a strange truth about human nature that most people learn too late. The loud enemy is rarely the dangerous one. The dangerous enemy is usually close enough to hug you, close enough to congratulate you, close enough to study your weaknesses while pretending to celebrate your strengths. And history proves this over and over again. Julius Caesar was not killed by a foreign army. He was killed by people he trusted. Businesses collapse from internal sabotage more than external competition. Families break apart over inheritance, comparison, jealousy, and silent resentment. Even psychologists say envy is one of the most socially hidden emotions because people rarely admit they feel it, but they act on it quietly, patiently, strategically. Philosophers once said, a man's happiest moment is often his weakest, because joy makes people careless. Success lowers suspicion. Celebration blinds discernment. And somewhere nearby, someone begins to compare their life to yours. A few years ago, a young entrepreneur, we'll call him Daniel, started becoming successful online. Nothing extravagant at first. A small apartment, late nights, cheap coffee, a laptop that overheated every 20 minutes. But slowly, things changed. More clients, more money, more recognition. People began reposting his work. Friends who ignored him suddenly became supportive. His phone became busy. And that's when the problems began. Not from strangers, from people closest to him. One friend started making jokes every time Daniel talked about work. Another constantly minimized his achievements. One would say, "You just got lucky." Another would laugh and say, "Don't forget us when you become rich." But the tone wasn't playful. It carried tension, hidden bitterness. Then came the strange behavior. Private conversations leaking. Business ideas copied. Subtle attempts to embarrass him publicly. One friend even began networking aggressively with Daniel's own clients behind his back. And what shocked Daniel most was this. The attacks increased as his success increased. Not when he was struggling, not when he was broke, when he was winning. That pattern is older than civilization itself. Modern psychology has a term called social comparison theory. Pay attention. Humans constantly measure themselves against people around them. Not celebrities, not billionaires, people nearby. Friends, coworkers, siblings, classmates, neighbors. And studies consistently show something uncomfortable. People feel more envy toward peers than strangers, because peers represent what they believe they should have become. Your success becomes evidence of their inaction. Your discipline exposes their excuses. Your growth becomes a mirror they didn't ask to look into. And envy rarely introduces itself honestly. It disguises itself as sarcasm, as concern, as criticism, as advice, as fake support, sometimes even as friendship. Research published in personality psychology journals found that envy often increases when success is visible, relatable, and socially close. Meaning, the person most threatened by your growth may not be someone above you. It may be someone standing right beside you. And this becomes even more dangerous in families, because family rivalry carries years of emotional history. Comparison starts early. Who is smarter? Who is favored? Who earns more? Who became successful? Who disappointed the family? Many family conflicts are not truly about money. Money simply exposes unresolved envy. That is why inheritance disputes destroy siblings who grew up in the same house. It's not about the property. It's about decades of comparison finally exploding. There's a term called identity envy, which is when someone doesn't just want your success. They want your position, your influence, your lifestyle, your relationships, your confidence, your identity, and the scary part. Sometimes they admire you and resent you at the same time. That contradiction creates unstable behavior. They support you publicly while competing with you privately. They clap for you while secretly hoping you fail. And many people ignore the warning signs because betrayal rarely arrives looking hostile. It arrives familiar, trusted, comfortable. A former FBI behavioral analyst once explained that manipulation is often most effective when emotional trust already exists. That's why internal betrayal hurts more than open opposition. The emotional access is already granted. One of the oldest human instincts is tribal hierarchy. People naturally compete for status inside groups, in workplaces, friend circles, communities, even churches. Social politics emerge anywhere humans gather long enough. And once status enters the equation, hidden rivalries begin forming beneath polite conversations. Here's the irony. Most people say they want successful friends, until those friends actually become successful. Because success changes social balance. If 5 friends all struggle together, there's emotional equality. But when one person evolves faster, the emotional contract changes. Now comparison enters the room. And comparison is emotionally expensive, especially for insecure people. That's why some people preferred you when you were struggling. Your weakness made them comfortable. Your growth creates distance, not always physically, psychologically. Suddenly, your discipline highlights their procrastination. Your ambition exposes their stagnation. Your confidence irritates their self-doubt. And instead of improving themselves, some people attempt to emotionally reduce you. This is why ridicule often increases before breakthrough. People attack what threatens their internal narrative. History is filled with examples. Writers rejected before becoming legends. Innovators mocked before becoming billionaires. Artists abandoned before becoming icons. Human beings often resist what later becomes admirable, because unfamiliar growth makes average people uncomfortable. Not every enemy wants to destroy you immediately. Some simply want access. Access to information. Access to opportunities. Access to your emotional vulnerability. These are strategic relationships. Transactional loyalty. People who remain close only while benefiting from proximity to your growth. And when they can no longer control, copy, or compete with you, the relationship changes. Suddenly, they become distant, cold, passive-aggressive, critical. This is why discernment matters more than popularity, because attention is not loyalty, and support is not always genuine. Some people study you more carefully than they support you. One ancient proverb says, "A jealous person does not necessarily want what you have. They simply do not want you to have it." That mindset destroys marriages, friendships, businesses, families, even entire nations. History has repeatedly shown that internal division weakens groups faster than external enemies. Civilizations often collapse from internal corruption before foreign invasion succeeds. The enemy inside is usually more dangerous than the enemy outside, because internal enemies understand the structure. They know the weaknesses. They know where trust lives. Envy doesn't only damage the target, it destroys the person carrying it. Studies on chronic resentment and social hostility show increased stress responses, emotional instability, and long-term psychological dissatisfaction. Why? Because envy traps people in permanent comparison. Nothing is enough. Someone always has more, looks better, earns more, wins more, and social media amplified this dramatically. Today, people compare themselves globally every single day, which means modern envy is operating at industrial scale. People don't only compete with neighbors anymore. They compete with curated digital lifestyles. And the result? More resentment, more hidden insecurity, more silent hostility, more performative friendships, more emotional exhaustion. So what do? Become paranoid? Distrust everyone? No. But understand human nature clearly, not emotionally, objectively. Learn the difference between support and surveillance. Pay attention to patterns. Who disappears when you struggle? Who becomes strange when you succeed? Who competes in every conversation? Who cannot celebrate your wins without mentioning themselves? Who constantly downplays your progress? Who gathers information but rarely offers value? Those signs matter. And one more thing. Stop oversharing your future. Not every listener is rooting for you. Some people hear your plans as a threat. Move carefully. Build quietly. Observe consistently. And understand this. The strongest people are not those without enemies. The strongest people are those who recognize hidden intentions early. Here's something I'd like to leave you with. Success does not only attract opportunity, it reveals character. Yours and everyone around you. Some people will become inspired by your growth. Others will become threatened by it. Some will celebrate you genuinely. Others will smile while quietly competing against you. And perhaps that is why wisdom matters more than popularity. Because enemies rarely announce themselves. Sometimes they sit at your table, laugh at your jokes, watch your victories, study your weaknesses, and wait patiently behind a friendly smile. Your biggest enemy may already know your favorite food, your dreams, your fears, your routines, your secrets. Not because they love you, because they were close enough to observe you. And finally, not everyone clapping for you wants you to win. But most importantly, beware of those who don't clap when you win.